Hello friends, this is Hedda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a new video about my reading journal. This right here is my reading journal. I have made several videos about it already. If you haven't watched my reading journal setup video for 2022, I highly recommend that you go watch that one. In my bullet journal setup videos, I usually set up all the spreads for 1 month all at once. For my reading journal, there isn't really a system like that. So I make a spread whenever I finish a book. So all of these clips are from different days and different locations over the past month. It starts around New Year's when I set up my monthly cover page for January, and then it goes all the way until the very end of January when I set up my spread for February. Also, this video starts out in the US and then it ends in Norway because I went back home for my grandmother's funeral. Talked more about that in my February Plan With Me video. What is a reading journal? It is a notebook where I track which books I am reading. I have a list for books I want to read. I have a list for books my friends have recommended to me, and then I make a spread for each book that I read with some reflections, my thoughts on it, and all that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let me take you back to New Year's in the US. My January cover page was the first cover page I've ever made on black paper, and I was a bit nervous about it, but also this is what's really fun about this notebook, that I get to experiment with different kinds of paper. My December cover page was on craft paper, and then January is on black paper. I got a delivery of washi tapes from the washi tape shop that had a lot of Year of the Tiger themed washi tapes, so I decided to do a tiger theme since I didn't do a tiger theme in my bullet journal. The washi tapes are really pretty. You can see that I'd already put some on the page because I wanted to see what it looked like on the black background. So thank you so much to the washi tape shop for sending them over. I am an affiliate with the washi tape shop, so if you ever want to make a purchase there, you can use my code mochibujo10 for 10% off. I didn't bring any paint pens with me to the US, so before creating this cover page, I went to Blick to pick up some Jelly Roll gel pens because I've been really happy with their white gel pens. So the other pens must be good too, I thought. Well, I got a variety of colors, 2 regular colors in orange and red, and then I got metallic, gold, silver, and bronze, and a glitter bronze color. Only the metallic and the glitter pens showed up nicely on the black paper though. The regular colors just look like muddy yellow, so that was a bit disappointing. But at least I had the metallic and the glitter pens, and I used the metallic bronze to draw this tiger. I don't have very much experience in drawing tigers, but I tried my best to make this look like a tiger. I think that the effect of the metallic pen is pretty cool on the black paper, so I am happy that I went with this theme. But anyway, you might be wondering why I'm even making a cover page for the month in my reading journal. And the reason why I do that is mostly to divide up all of the book spreads that I make so that there's more of a system to it. It lets me sort the books based on which month that I read them, and it also lets me easily see how many books that I have read so far this year, and if I'll get even close to reading 1 book a week this year. It's not a concrete goal of mine, but it would be cool if by the end of 2022 I've read more than 50 books. So here you can see that I put these little pieces of memo pad paper basically on the page so that I would have room for 4 books for January. I ended up reading 5 books in January, but 2 of them were from a trilogy, so I put those in the same box because I just barely finished the second one before the end of the month. And then I'm decorating with stickers from Meiralia and Paper Minty Studio and Venka, and I also cut out some of the pieces from the Year of the Tiger washi tape from the washi tape shop and used those as stickers. And of course I added some sparkles with the gel pens, and I think it turned out really nice. And something about the black paper makes it seem like there isn't any empty space, even though there are areas on this page where there is no decoration, if that makes sense. I thought it was pretty cool. You might be able to hear both my fireplace and my cat in this recording, and if you do, you know, it's just part of the experience. That was my cat rubbing his face against my microphone. The next spread I made in my reading journal was my spread for A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I finished this book right after New Year's. It was different from the other books in the Alcatraz series. It was kind of the redemption arc of Nesta, which is the sister of the main character in the first 4 books. I was filming this at Honeysuckle in Salt Lake City, and I was actually filming a reel while filming this. It was a whole operation to film 2 videos at the same time, but I did my best. You can see my phone popping up and me doing stuff. I posted it on my Instagram as well as on my TikTok account, which, yes, I do have a TikTok account, but I rarely post there. The spread is just a regular spread for a book, and what I do when I make these spreads is I just decorate with whatever I want, not necessarily following a theme for the book or anything like that. In my very first reading journal, the one that I made for 2020, I tried to kind of stick to a theme for all of the book spreads and kind of decorate in a way that fit the book, but I quickly learned that that was a bit too much effort on my part. Like, it took too long to figure out the theme, and maybe I didn't have appropriate stationery or the right colors or whatever, so I just abandoned the thought that the spreads had to feel like the book, and instead I'm just decorating with pretty stationery that I own because, you know, I have so much, so I have to use it eventually, somehow. I don't like to just keep stationery and not use it. I know we're all very different when it comes to this. Some people like to hoard and never use. I like to hoard and then use. That way I never have to feel bad about buying more stationery because I know that I will use it. I wrote the title with the silver jelly roll that I mentioned earlier, and then I wrote my thoughts on the book with my white jelly roll in the size 08 because the 05, while it is the perfect size for writing, it is not as opaque, I find. So I like to write with the 08, and then I also have the 10 for making thicker lines. Early in January, I got a delivery from Notebook Therapy containing the new Moonlit Spells washi tape and stamps, plus the older washi tapes and notebook from the same collection. So I really wanted to use them for a spread. Here's a little unboxing or showcasing for you guys because I thought this collection is so pretty. I ended up theming my February spread after this collection actually, so this book spread is just a sneak peek of what comes after. I made a swatch page for the collection in my bullet journal, of course, and I just think that the collection is so pretty. I love pink, so I think it's wonderful to have a kind of celestial themed washi tape set that's not just black or deep blue or deep purple, but of course I also love the black version of the set. The black version has more like gilded silver, while the pink version has like rose gold, and that's really different, so I love that. I am an affiliate with Notebook Therapy, so if you ever want to make a purchase from them, you can use my code mochibujo10 for 10% off. It also gives me a small commission, so this is a great way to support me as an artist if that's something that you want to do. The new vintage rose collection is also super pretty. You will see that in other videos from me because I can't wait to use it for something. But in this video, you'll see a lot from the Moonlit Spells collection. This next spread that I am making is for a book called The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abidare. I read this book as part of my Around the World challenge for 2022, and this book fills one of the 2 spots that I have for books from Africa. It's about a girl called Aduni who lives in Nigeria. She is married off to an older man who already has 2 wives, but all Aduni wants is to go to school and become a teacher. I think the book was really good, and it has a lot of strong female characters who are all in different situations. Some of them are really kind and nice, and some of them are really horrible and mean. But you kind of realize that they're all just suffering as a result of the view the men in their lives have towards women. The main character is 14 years old, so the book is written in the kind of English a 14-year-old Nigerian girl would speak after going to school for a few years, which I thought was a really nice touch, and it made it feel more authentic because it really tells the story from the point of view of a 14-year-old girl. It is incredibly sad and horrible, but it's also a really heartwarming story, and I'm really happy that I read it. It was very different from a lot of the fantasy books that I read, so it was a nice change, I think. As far as I can tell from Googling, Abidare, she lives in the UK now, but she is from Nigeria, because my Around the World challenge is not necessarily about books set in different countries, but the author has to be from those parts of the world as well. So yeah, I am just decorating with the Moonlit Spells collection. Since the paper is black, a lot of the stamps wouldn't really show up well on the black paper. I don't have white stamps, but I should get a white stamp pad. I think that would be a great idea. But I stamped some of the stamps on white paper, and then I just glued that to the page. Then I used silver gel pen to kind of complement the silver gilding in the washi tapes, and I also used some pink details. At this point, my life was kind of disrupted because my grandmother passed away, so I hurried back to Norway to be with my family and to attend the funeral. So here is me flying over the US, and then over Amsterdam, and then finally over Oslo, which is my hometown. And you can see me zoom in on this area where I used to live just up until November last year, so that was really fun. And then here is me after the funeral, where I kind of picked up my reading journal again. I made a spread for The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I started this series later in January. I actually finished both books, I guess the first two books of the trilogy, before the end of January. I also read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, but I didn't film me setting up that spread because I didn't really feel like filming anything right after I came back to Norway. So you just saw a quick clip of The 100,000 Kingdoms, and then this next spread that I am setting up is for the second book in the trilogy. So yeah, I guess I have 3 books to talk about, but let's start with The Song of Achilles. This one was recommended to me by a lot of people. Many of you as well recommended this to me under my 2022 reading journal setup video, and I have to be honest, I didn't really like it that much. I mean, I knew the story because we learned about Greek and Roman stories in school, so I knew how it would end, and I knew many of the characters. I just felt like the writing was just, there was no feeling, like no emotion in the writing, so it felt a little bit like reading the beginning of Lord of the Rings, if that makes sense. It's like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and this happened, and then nothing, no like reflection or meaningful dialogue. So yeah, it felt a bit rushed, like, and I mean it is because you're going through like an entire lifetime in a short book, but still, it wasn't really my cup of tea. And you know, this happens once in a while. You can't like all books, so I'm sure it's a great book for some people. It just wasn't for me. So anyway, here's a little cat interlude. This is Mats. He is being a bad boy and sitting on the dining table. He actually spilled out my coffee on this day, and here is him being very happy about that. He's really enjoying himself. I thought I'd just include this little clip because it's part of my life right now, and these reading journal videos are turning into like halfway reading journal, halfway vlogs. So there is that. Anyway, the next clip you will see is me making my cover page for February, and this was themed around the Moonlit Spells collection, like I mentioned. I'm a little bit concerned that I've only filled in 3 sections of my Neapolitan notebook, and it's already looking like it's halfway full. So this is going to be a really chunky notebook by the time I am done with it. Anyway, while I am setting up the spread, I want to talk about the last 2 books that I read in January. The first one is The 100,000 Kingdoms, and then it's The Broken Kingdoms, both by N.K. Jemisin. I really liked the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, and it was the first books that I read from her, and this trilogy is the first one that she made. Like, this was her debut series, and it's very different. Like, I really like The Broken Earth, and then The 100,000 Kingdoms doesn't really get quite up there for me. I'm currently reading the 3rd book because I have to finish trilogies. I can't split up trilogies. I have to read all of them all at once. And this is why I'm a little bit concerned about starting the Throne of Glass series, because I'll just be stuck reading those books until I'm done. And there's like, 7 or 8 of them or more? The 100,000 Kingdoms, I think it's called the Inheritance trilogy. It's okay, but it's not the best that I have read. And I can definitely see that her writing has improved and her storytelling too. So yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this series necessarily. I would definitely recommend the Broken Earth trilogy over this one. So back to my February cover page. This one is all over the place. I decided I wanted to make a kind of eclectic cover page with a lot of small components, because this was the only way I could envision using all of the stamps and all of the washi tapes that are in this collection. And luckily for me, this spread landed on a split spread between black and white, so it was really the perfect page to do like black on one side and pink on the other, and then kind of mix a little bit so that they both have a little bit of black and a little bit of pink. I spent 2 days on this cover page. Actually did a little bit on one day, and then I finished it the next day. You can see the change in nails coming very soon, because I've been wearing a lot of press-on nails, and it makes me happy that you guys notice my nails. It's pretty fun. Anyway, I love these. I got them in the US. Haven't seen any nice press-on nails here in Norway. They're all like the French manicure ones, and they don't really look very nice. So anyway, yeah, I have these little frames for books, and I left room for 5 books in February, which is maybe a little bit optimistic. I'm not sure if I'll get to 5 books this month. It worked in January because I flew back from the US to Norway, so I had like 20 hours to fill. And audiobooks are great when you're flying, let me tell you. I filled all of the empty space with washi tape and stickers from the collection. I especially like this pet tape because it's see-through and you can kind of cut out different components if you don't want the whole tape. And I think it's just really fun. It makes it feel like you have a lot more stickers to work with and not just washi tape. So yeah, I also used some of my own stickers from Ikigai Papier. I am actually planning a shop opening early February. I'm just waiting for some products to actually get here so that I can take proper pictures and all of that. But I will post an update about that over on my community page, so make sure that you're subscribed so that you won't miss that, because I have some really cool products to show you. So yeah, that is all the spreads that I made in my reading journal in January, and here is a little flip through. What I like the most about my reading journal is that I get to try so many different types of themes. In my bullet journal, I try to stick to one theme for the whole month, but in my reading journal that doesn't really matter because each book is their own thing and it doesn't feel weird to me to have a different theme on each page. It also challenges me to try different types of backgrounds with the black and the craft and the white. I mean, in this video it's mostly been a black background. So I guess for February and maybe also for March, it will be a lot of white paper, and then we'll get to craft again. So I got to experiment with a lot of different colors and a lot of different gel pens, silver, bronze and gold, and that was all really fun. I guess in a way I didn't have the best reading month considering how I didn't like half the books that I read, or that's a little bit harsh. I mean, The Song of Achilles is the only book I really didn't like. The Inheritance trilogy was like, yeah, but I mean, I'm still finishing the third book because I don't want to miss out on the end of the story. But yeah, A Court of Silver Flames was good. I did like that. I know a lot of people don't really like it because it's from Nesta's perspective and not Feyre's, but I actually quite like it, and I do like Nesta a little bit more after that book. The Girl with the Louding Voice was great. I can absolutely recommend it. Song of Achilles would not recommend. And then the Inheritance trilogy, read the Broken Earth trilogy instead. I don't really have a plan for which books I want to read in February, but I think I'm gonna try to pick up a Norwegian book, maybe Aldri 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 or Gul Bok. Both are books that I've been wanting to read for a while, so this seems like a good time. I also have friends who have a lot of books, so I'll be able to maybe borrow some if I want to. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to see more from me, then please click the subscribe button. As always, feel free to put some book recommendations in the comments if you have any, and let me know if you have read any of the books that I talked about in this video and your thoughts on it, if any. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And a special thank you to my patrons. You guys really are the best. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.